You know, the largest thing in the entire universe might just be a giant question mark. Today, we're diving into a structure so unbelievably huge that it really shouldn't exist, a cosmic mystery that pushes the limits of everything we thought we knew. Okay, just try to wrap your head around this number. 10 billion light years. That's how big this thing is supposed to be. That's more than a tenth of the entire observable universe in one single connected object. It just sounds impossible, doesn't it? And that really is the central question here. Is it even possible for something to get this enormous? Are we looking at a genuine structure, or are our eyes just playing tricks on us, some kind of cosmic mirage? Well, that's what we're here to find out. So let's give this beast its proper name, the Hercules Borealis Great Wall. Now, you see that word on the screen, putative? That's probably the most important word in this whole story. It basically means it's assumed to exist. This isn't a sure thing yet, but oh man, what a tantalizing clue. So, how in the world do you even go about finding something this massive and this far away? It's not like you can just point a telescope and take a picture. No, you have to become a cosmic detective. And your clues? Well, they happen to be some of the most violent events in the entire universe. The mean clues come from something called gamma ray bursts, or GRBs for short, and these things are just insane. We're talking about explosions so energetic they can briefly outshine entire galaxies. They're basically the universe's ultimate fireworks, set off when giant stars collapse or when super dense neutron stars smash into each other. And here's the really clever part. Think of these GRBs as cosmic fingerprints. They don't just happen anywhere. They only go off where there's a ton of matter. Places with massive stars and dense galaxy clusters. So if you suddenly see a whole bunch of them clustered together in one part of the sky, that's like a giant neon sign pointing to something absolutely enormous hiding in the darkness. Okay, so armed with this clever idea, a team of astronomers started digging through all the data they had on GRBs. And the funny thing is, they weren't even looking for a giant wall. They were just mapping the sky. But then, something started to emerge from the noise. A pattern that just shouldn't have been there. And their process was really methodical. First, they took this big catalog of 286 GRBs. Then, to check for patterns, they sorted them by distance, kind of like slicing up the universe into 9 different layers, from near to far. And it was in one of those specific layers that, bam, they found something. And get this, in that one slice of the universe, out of 31 total GRBs, a whopping 19 of them were clustered together. They weren't just in a little clump either. They formed this huge arc across the sky, and they were all at roughly the same incredible distance from us. The odds of that happening by pure chance? Almost nothing. This was not random noise. This was a signal. It was screaming that there had to be some kind of gigantic, invisible superstructure underneath it all, a cosmic filament of galaxies and matter holding it all together. And that right there, that was the very first glimpse of the Hercules Borealis Great Wall. But hey, before we get into the big scientific controversy that erupted, there's this fantastic little story about how this thing got its epic name. Because it didn't come from some stuffy committee, that's for sure. So check this out. The astronomers announced their finding in November 2013. Just 3 weeks later, a teenager in the Philippines named Jondrick Valdez reads an article about it, hops on Wikipedia, and just names it. And the name was so perfect that even the original discoverers started using it themselves. How cool is that? Which makes total sense when you hear what one of the co-discoverers, John Hackula, said. They weren't even thinking about a name. Their entire focus was just on that one single massive question, is this thing even real? That's the scientific mindset, right there. And that question brings us right to the heart of the controversy. Because as soon as this discovery was announced, the scientific community basically split in two. Is this the biggest structure we've ever found? Or is it just a ghost in the data? And this is science at its best, really. On one side, you have the discovery team. They're pointing to the incredible statistics, saying the chances of this being a fluke are minuscule, and that they confirmed it with multiple tests. But on the other side, you have skeptics who argue that maybe the statistical methods weren't quite strict enough, and that you can find these kinds of patterns by pure chance if you look long enough. It's a huge debate about how we even interpret the data the universe sends us. So what's the verdict? Is it real or not? Well, the honest answer right now is we're not sure yet. This is a scientific mystery that's still unfolding. The final chapter hasn't been written. Now, here's where we are today. The original team that found it, they are sticking to their guns. They actually reanalyzed everything with new data in 2020, and they say they're more confident than ever that the Great Wall is a real physical thing. But to really, truly settle this once and for all, we need a better map of the sky. We need more data. And that's where a future mission called the Theseus satellite comes in. It's being designed to map these gamma ray bursts with unbelievable precision. It could finally be the key that confirms or debunks the Great Wall. So let's just quickly recap the big points. We've got a potential structure that's an almost unimaginable 10 billion light years wide. It was found not by sight, but by tracking the echoes of cosmic explosions. Its very existence is a perfect example of how science works, a huge claim being put through the ringer. And the final verdict? Well, it's still out there, waiting for us. And that leaves us with one last, truly mind-bending thought. If a structure this enormous could actually be real, hiding out there, just beyond our ability to clearly see it, what else is out there? What other impossibly huge things are just waiting for us, lurking in the cosmic dark?